The first step to social media success is making sure your profile is set up right. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you how to turn those lurkers into followers from the second they open up your profile. Hi, my name is Brianna. I am a social media marketer of 10 years and I am on a mission to help small business owners, content creators, and other marketers to find social media success. Like I said, today we are going to talk all about setting up your social media profiles for success. This is kind of like marketing 101, but I feel like it is something that so many people ignore. They just put what they have to put on their social media profiles to be able to move on to posting. But in reality, how you set up your profile can make a world of a difference. So the tips that I give you today, they're basically going to be applicable for all social media platforms. However, a lot of them are mainly applicable for Instagram and TikTok, and then there are some other steps for some other platforms that I'll point out throughout the video as well. So you may be wondering, why do we need to pay attention to our social media profile setup if when you open up Instagram or TikTok or any other social media profile, you're given a feed where you just see posts as you scroll? And while I get that, you have to understand that if someone were to click over to your profile, they're going to decide within seconds if you're worth following or not. This is so important because how many times you scroll through your feed and see a post suggested to you and wonder if that is somebody that is worth following or not, and perhaps you click on their username, you head over to their profile, and maybe they're not worth following, or maybe they are. Maybe right off the bat you are so impressed with the content that they are putting out and you feel like you can get a lot of value from that content, so you follow right away. And chances are you make that quick decision because of the way their profile is set up. So without further ado, let's get right to this step-by-step guide of setting up your profile. So the first thing we're going to talk about is your username and handle. So yes, this is the name that comes after the little @ symbol on TikTok and Instagram and even Facebook and YouTube. They utilize usernames and handles as well now. So the main three things that you want to keep in mind when it comes to your username and handles is that you want to keep it clean, consistent, and simple. What I mean by that is you want to make it either your brand name or your business name or your name. You want to keep it to something that is easily recognizable and easy to remember. So for me, my social media marketing brand is The Digital Herald, and on Instagram you can find me at The Digital Herald, not at The Digital Herald 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because a lot of times a series of numbers or underscores or other symbols can make things complicated and aren't easy to remember. Let's take a brand like Glossier, for example. When you go to look them up on Instagram or TikTok, you know that all you got to do is type in Glossier. You don't have to type in Glossier 5, 6, 7, 8. You don't have to do Glossier underscore skincare or whatever it is. You know that it is just their name. Same thing with creators like Emma Chamberlain. If you want to find her, you can easily do so by just typing in Emma Chamberlain. She doesn't have an obscure username or handle that can make things complicated or her harder to find. So by keeping it clean and simple, you are going to be easily remembered. You're going to be easily recognized. If somebody wants to share your profile with somebody else, they could be like, hey, pull up your Instagram and look up at XYZ, not XYZ2345. Something as simple as that can make a world of a difference. So the other thing to keep in mind when coming up with your username or handle is to keep it consistent across all platforms. I know that sometimes this can be difficult because if something is available on Instagram, it may not be available on TikTok. However, you want to try and keep it as consistent as possible across all your platforms. That way, when you are promoting your social media or by word of mouth or anything like that, you can just give one handle or username and they know to look that up wherever they are going to. So if your handle name is XYZ on one platform, it should be XYZ on another platform, and on that third platform and fourth platform. Wherever you can, you're going to want to take that username and keep it the same all the way around. So next is your profile photo. And while these things seem so easy to set up, if you ignore these little tips, it can really put a damper on your profile and steer people away. So when it comes to your profile photo, it really depends on your brand or your business. If you are a product-based business, maybe you want to make it your brand logo. If you are a personal brand, you're going to want to make it a headshot. If you're going to make it a headshot, you're going to want something that is well lit, that is high quality, that is easily recognizable. So if I'm scrolling through, you're going to want that photo up close. So think of like a school photo. If I'm able to scroll through and I see that tiny little avatar next to your username, I want to be able to recognize you. Same goes for your brand logo. If you're using a logo on your profile photo, you want to use something that stands out and is easily recognizable. That way you need to make sure that it is high quality. You need to make sure that it is crisp. You want to make sure that the colors in that are easily recognizable and easy to distinguish. You also want to make sure that it is something that will pop if somebody is scrolling through a a follower list and comes across your avatar. So for example, if your profile photo is just a white background with some small black text, I'm going to scroll right by that because one, I'm either going to think that it is spam or just junk, or I'm not going to be able to read it or recognize what it is and I'm going to ignore it. So you want to make sure that that profile photo stands out. Next is your display name. Now your display name should be different from your username and handle. Your display name is actually the name when you pull up your profile. It's not the name next to the little @ symbol. So for example, while my username on Instagram is @TheDigitalHerald, my display name is The Digital Herald Social Media Marketing. You want to utilize your display name so that as soon as people open that profile, they can see who you are and what you're about. So if you are a fitness coach, maybe you want to put your name -fitness expert. If you are a fashion and beauty blogger, maybe you want to put your name -fashion and beauty blogger. You want to let people who are opening your profile know who you are and what you are posting. Now you don't want to just go throw any words in there. The things that you want to keep in mind when making this display name is SEO. That is search engine optimization. And using SEO keywords can help you to rank in search, whether it be on the social media platform itself or on Google. So if I'm looking for a nutritionist who is certified and has recipes, I'm going to go to Instagram and put certified nutritionist recipes. And I'm going to get a list of people who have those keywords in their display name or on their profile. So when it comes to coming up with that display name, you want to think about what are people who are your target audience searching. If you are a retailer who is selling children's clothes, you could put your brand name and put children's wear, children's clothing from this size to this size. These are all things that people who may be searching for the product that you sell are going to be searching, whether it be on Google or Instagram or TikTok. While you are keeping those SEO keywords in mind, make sure you keep it clear and concise. You don't want that display name to be all sorts of jumbled up words that make it hard to understand what it is that you are serving. Next, let's talk about your bio. So your bio is where you really get into the nitty-gritty of what you do, but you also want to keep it concise. So again, how many times have you opened up somebody's profile and as soon as you go to their profile, you look at their bio and see who they are and what they have to say? Most times, if someone isn't clear with who they are or what they're going to be posting, I immediately X out of that profile and continue on with my scrolling. And I know that so many other people do the same. So to do that, you want to be clear and concise. You can even be as direct as saying, I help X with X. Like, I help stay-at-home moms with organizing XYZ. I help young entrepreneurs with XYZ. For me, it would be, I help business owners and creators with social media marketing. All in all, you want to make it easy for your target audience to know that you are there directly for them. So while typing up this bio, you want to make sure that not only are you filling it out with those keywords that people are searching, but you want to make it clear and easy to read. So make sure that you're using line breaks or emojis. So for example, my personal profile, I work in TV during the day, so I use a little TV emoji as a line break. A lot of people will use a little location pin as a line break. There are tons of ways that you can use emojis as line breaks, or you can just use a line break itself. That way people are looking like bam, bam, bam. They can tell what you are there for. So next, let's talk about your link in bio. This is the link that goes right underneath your bio. I'm sure you've seen it before, and this is such an important tool to use when it comes to your profile. Especially if you are selling a product or service, this is where you're going to direct people to be able to reach that product or service purchase page. So there are a couple different things that you can do with this link in bio. If you are specifically selling one product, if your whole business is one product, you can make that link in your bio that product page, and that's it. You could be done. If you have multiple products on your website that you want to sell, maybe you have a landing page. You can put a landing page that directs you to your own website right in that link in bio. That way it is easily trackable and measurable, and you can see what people are clicking on when they get to that landing page. You can also see how many people are going to that landing page from your particular social media profile that you're trying to track. There are also a ton of tools and apps out there to help you create a link in bio. So for me, I love the tool Beacons. I will leave a link to that in the description down below. So I utilize that for my personal blog and my personal page. What I do is I have a ton of links on there. You can set up an about, you can set up all kinds of stuff on there, and it has its own analytics, which I really like because I like to be able to measure and see where people are coming from, what links they're clicking on in there, and it kind of just lets me know what's working, what's not. There are tons of other apps out there as well. There's Milkshake, there's Linktree, there's tons of ways to get a link in bio tool so that when you utilize that link in bio, you're not just having one link in there, you can have an all-encompassing link. In recent years, Instagram actually started to allow you to add more than one link to your bio, which is nice. However, when you're opening up the profile, you're really only going to see one, and it'll say like one link and two others, and it's not often that people are going to click on the two others to see your list of links. They're really going to go for that first one that they can see, which is why I really like the link in bio tool. If you have multiple links, that That way, when they're clicking on that link, they'll just have everything listed out in front of them. So after your link in bio, the next thing you're going to want to set up is your contact info. Instagram specifically has buttons that you can turn on or off to show up on your profile with contact information. So if you want to email, if you want to book an appointment, if you want someone to message you or DM you, you can set all these things up individually. That way somebody can go to your page and just click the email button automatically and instantly email you. These are great tools to use for your call to actions. That way if you are posting something and you want to direct people to send you an email, you can put in the caption, blah, 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 send me an email and we can get this figured out. That way it makes things so easy for people to just head on over to your profile, click that email button and send you that email that you want them to send you. Now, one caveat to this, and this is for content creators or aspiring influencers particularly, but a lot of times when it comes to content creation and influencer marketing, a lot of companies and brands will have influencer marketing teams. And while they are looking for influencers to contact, they're not necessarily going to click that email button. So for someone like a content creator or influencer, you're going to want to put your email in your bio as well, because a lot of times these influencer marketing teams have spreadsheets where they keep everybody's email addresses and they want to be able to easily copy and paste your email into that spreadsheet. So while it is good to have that email button set up, it is also probably a good tip to keep your email written out in your bio. So next, and this is Instagram specific, but your highlights. So if you've opened up a profile and saw those round dots on the top of somebody's profile, that is somebody's story highlights. And what Instagram story highlights are, if you're looking at somebody's Instagram story, people can choose to save those stories to highlights for people to refer to later after the 24-hour story period is up. So for example, a lot of influencers will do this when they are sharing links to products that they love. So if somebody loves a bunch of skincare products and they post those to their stories, they may keep a story highlight on their page for those skincare products. That way, after those 24 hours, if people are still wanting to look for those skincare products, they can just go to that highlight and they can still drive sales through those links. So if you are a business or brand and you're looking to create these highlights, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to categorize them. So maybe you want to have an about category, an FAQ category, testimonials, reviews, customer questions, something like that, that will help people to be able to easily go to these highlights and see what you have to say on them. So for example, maybe you're selling a product that is in the technology world that people often have questions about. You can have a highlight on your page with the most frequently asked questions. So say I buy that product and I don't know how something works. I can go to that highlight right on your page and see the answer for myself rather than having to go through the trouble of reaching out to customer service to have somebody answer that question. So not only does that help your consumer, but it also helps you as well because you're not fielding all these customer service requests. And if you want to take it a step further, you can also make highlight covers for these Instagram story highlights. So what I mean by that is when you open up a profile, those circles, the photo on the circle will be your cover. So you can do that through like graphics or a certain photo itself. It'll make your profile overall just look more well put together and a little aesthetically pleasing, and you can do it on brand with the rest of your branding for your business. So next, and this doesn't apply for all social media platforms, but I can think of off the top of my head it applies for Facebook, LinkedIn, X, YouTube. So they give you the option to create a banner photo, and if it gives you that option, definitely take advantage of that because it is just one more piece to the puzzle on your profile that makes you look put together. It makes your branding recognizable and it can show off what it is that you are servicing. So while you could make your banner photo the same as your profile photo, it's probably in your best interest not to do that because you don't want your profile photo blending in with the banner photo. Instead, you want it to maybe make it your motto or some other kind of branding, or maybe if you are a product brand and you just put out a whole photo shoot of your new collection, maybe take one of those photos and make it your banner photo. What you want to do with that is you want to just show off a little bit of your branding. So now that we've went through the step-by-step guide of how to set up your profile, we're going to go over some common mistakes that you're going to want to avoid. So the first one is that you don't want to be too vague when it comes to your bio. If you are a fitness expert, maybe a fitness coach, or you have SoulCycle classes that you teach or something like that, your bio, you don't want something that just says fitness or exercising. You want to give the potential followers a little bit more of a clue of what it is that you're going to be posting. Are you going to be posting workout routines? And you're going to want to put that I am a fitness expert specializing in ab workouts or at-home workouts or XYZ workouts. What can people expect from you? Because if me personally, if I'm looking for at-home workouts, I don't want to see somebody who is at a workout class because that is not what I'm looking for. So you want to be a little more detailed about what it is that people can expect from your profile. Next is being inconsistent with your branding. So if your branding on Instagram is your brand colors are red, pink, and white, you don't want your colors on Facebook to be green, blue, and yellow. You want to be consistent across all social media platforms. That way, if I am used to your Instagram profile and I want to find you on TikTok, I'm going to look for those colors. My eyes are going to scan and I'm going to look for those recognizable colors. If I see something that is completely different, I might not even know if it's you or not. The consistency across all platforms with your branding really just helps with brand awareness and brand recognition. Next, you want to make sure that you're not using broken or outdated links or contact information in your link in bio or in your contact buttons. Making sure your links and contact information are up to date and active really just helps to build trust with your audience, because if I'm somebody who had purchased a product from your brand and I'm going to reach out to customer service to ask a question about that said product and I am not going to get a response, or if I get a return to sender email sent back to me, I'm going to feel some type of way because I'm not going to know how to contact you, and I'm going to feel that you are not a trustworthy brand and that you sold me something that isn't going to work or that I just don't know how to use and you're going to leave me high and dry. Same with outdated links. Say you have a link in your bio that is promoting a sale or a sale price, and I go and I click that link and that sale is no longer going on, or that price has gone up since then. I'm again going to feel some type of way, and it's going to hurt the trust that you have between you and your potential customer or potential consumer. And honestly, it may hurt that customer or consumer, and they may spread word of mouth that you are not trustworthy, and then it can just be a snowballing effect. And the last mistake to avoid is to make sure that you're not ignoring any platform specific features. What I mean by that is Instagram. Make sure you're not ignoring those Instagram highlights. You're going to want to use those. If it's on your profile, use it. Same with banner photos. If you have the option to add a banner photo, use it. If there's an option to put a link in your bio, use it. These social media companies add these features to your profiles because they want you to use them. So if it's there for you to use, take advantage of it. So I just threw a lot of information at you, and I know you're probably thinking, well, where do I start? You may feel a little bit overwhelmed, and that's totally okay. The first step that you're going to want to take is you're going to want to audit all your current profiles. If you are already on social media, take a look at those profiles, see what's missing from them, see what can be updated, and take note of what it is that you want to change or what you want to update. Then mark it down on your to-do list or in your calendar. Schedule a few hours to really take control of these profiles. If it feels like a lot to handle, I get it. I totally understand where you're coming from, and it is a lot of information. So I created a free downloadable profile setup checklist that I'm going to leave a link to in the description down below. It is on Canva. You can either update it right on Canva or you can print it out and do it on hand. But it has everything on that profile checklist that we talked about today to make sure that you are setting up your profiles for success. Seriously, it's free. Just download it. I made it for you. While it may seem so small to just update your display name or your bio or your profile photo, little steps like this can really make a world of a difference when it comes to organically growing your social media presence. If there are any platforms that you're specifically struggling with or have questions about, seriously leave a comment down below and let me know how I can help you. If there are any particular videos about social media marketing or digital marketing that you would like me to create, please leave a comment, let me know, and make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel. It would mean the world to me, because I'm really going to try and build this up and make this into an educational platform for people to come to learn about social media marketing. So thank you for joining me for today's video, and I will see you guys next time.